Hello everybody, this is Caleb. In this video we are going to share how to deploy a website on the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OCI. So the prerequisites are to have an account with Oracle Cloud, and as you can see I am already logged in. So let's get started with the creation of the virtual cloud network. So here we are. Let's click on this menu and choose networking, virtual cloud networks, and we are going to click on create virtual cloud network. We need to provide a name, so in here I am choosing this name for my network, and we also need to provide the CIDR block associated with this network. We can click on create, and it has been created. Now we need to update the security list and add the ingress rules. We are going to add the ingress rule for the port number 80, so we can have our web server listening on that port. We can see we are typing here the number 8, and we have a description, and let's add this rule. Okay, you can see the rule that has been added. Now we need to create the internet gateway. And in here we are just need to provide a name, and please make sure you are also creating these resources on the right compartment. Okay, now it is time to update the route table to take into account these ingress rules. We need to add a route table. We choose internet gateway, and we need in here to provide the incoming traffic, which is everything, and we are targeting the internet gateway, and click create as you saw. Now we can create the public subnet in order to associate the security list and the route table. Okay, here we are in the subnets section. Hopefully it's not so fast and you are seeing where I am clicking. So in here again it is only a matter of providing a name, and you can see that you can also have support for IPv6, but we are not doing that in here. We are choosing a public subnet, and we need to choose the security list that you saw before. Okay, here's the route table. Now we are ready to go and create the subnet. Okay, the subnet is being provisioning. It's a matter of time. Okay, here we are. Now we are going to create a reserved IP in order to associate that IP with the instance that we are going to create later. I have created already one, but if you need to know how to do this step, just click on Reserve Public IP Address and type a name on the right compartment, the second field, and reserve the public IP. But again, I already have one created beforehand. With this in hand, we can create the compute instance. But before, we need to we need to create the SSH keys, and we are using the Cloud shell that is arriving with the Oracle Cloud in the portal, on the web portal. And here we are checking if we have this directory. We are going to execute the SSH keygen command with this encryption algorithm, and in here we are going to hit an error because this encryption algorithm it needs to be enabled somehow beforehand. So after that we are going to choose the RSA, but you can see here the kind of command and the kind of output that it is being shown to you. Okay, here's the error. Okay, so we are now changing the encryption algorithm and using the RSA algorithm instead in order to create the key. You see, this time the key has been created. Now we are going to change the permission for this file in order to just be able to be read and no other permission. Now it is time for real to build the compute instance. Let's go with compute and instances, the submenu. From the submenu, let's click on create instance, and again we are just going to provide the required information and choosing this online name. As always, make sure you are on the right, creating the resource on the right compartment. Now we are about to change the image and shape. I will try to go with the ARM processors because the free layer offering was like very generous, but as you will see, we won't be able to to take advantage of this generosity provided by Oracle, because there is no, well, at that point there wasn't any capacity. Maybe I didn't give a second try. Okay, in here you can see that some fields are already there. We have chosen not to go with an IP because, remember, we already have one reserved IP, so no need to be provided another one. And in here we need to paste the content of the public key that we have just created, and you can see very easy. Copy the content, make sure you are choosing the public key, and yeah, let's click create, and you see at that point of time there were any more availability, so I proceeded to change the image and the shape for the compute instance. I go back to the version 8 from Oracle Linux, and in here I was experimenting some issues trying to find the processors available. So I ended reloading the page, as you will see in a few seconds. You see I'm clicking everywhere. So I reloaded the website. Not a big deal. Okay, we are in here again, and this time we are able to choose the AMD. Again, we need to provide the name since we have reloaded the page. Make sure you choose the right compartment to create the resource, the compute instance. Oracle Linux 8, it's okay. So in here, the networking, we are choosing the virtual cloud network that we have created, and the subnet is the one that we have created too. We do not assign any public IP because we reserved one to be attached later. So again, we need to copy and paste the content of the public key because we reloaded the page. Okay, we are clicking on create, and the compute instance is being provisioned. So great, now the compute instance is running. You can see in the state, and we don't have any public IP address assigned yet. We're about to do that. Next. So in here we are going to choose attach BNICS, and we are clicking in here and we don't see the option we are looking for, so we click on the attach, and You can see here all the information related, but we need to click on the IPv4 addresses. In order to assign the reserved IP we configured previously, if you remember, we click on Edit, and we need to choose the third radio button, Reserve Public IP. And select the existing reserve, remember that. After that we can click Update with no major problem, and we have all the information we need to connect to our compute instance. We are maximizing this console, the cloud shell, and we are about to create the identity file, the file containing the connection information for our instance. So we are going to create the config file that lives inside the .ssh. And here we are. We need to type the information. You can see the host name is the IP, the reserve IP, and the identity file is the SSH key that we have created. We save the file, and we are now able to use the information to connect to our instance, and we accept the information, and we are now connected. We are inside the compute instance. So the first thing is we need to check for updates, and if you can notice here, I make a mistake. I misspelled the update word, so it is time for us to write once more the update command. Okay, now this takes a little bit of time, so I see you once this has been finished. Now that we have checked for updates and the process has been done, we are clearing this console, and we are now actually upgrading the system. And this also will take some time, so I see you once it's done. And we are back. So this time we clear the console and we exit from the compute instance, and we are going to minimize or restore the console, the cloud shell, because we need to reboot the compute instance so the changes are taken into account, and it is recommended. So click on reboot instance as you saw, and that's all. Now that the instance has been restarted, we are going to try to install DNF utils. But first, let's see our instances. We need to change the compartment here, and you can see it now. So we are going to, as I mentioned, try to install DNF utils, but as you will see, this tool is already there, so I don't know, you maybe wanna try too. Okay, it is there. Now it is time for us to install Nginx. So we have maximized the Cloud Shell console, and we are about to create the file related to the Nginx repository, and I'm going to paste the information because it is quite considerable, and this information is available on the official website for Nginx. Make sure to check this video description for links and any other extra information. Okay, we have written the repository file that DNF will use, and we are about now to install Nginx. In the process, we are going to answer a couple of questions related to this space as usual, and the other one related, let us see here, okay, to the signing key. We answered yes. And we wait for this installation to finish, and it is complete now, which is great. Now we need to enable Nginx web server to start whenever the compute instance gets restarted, and we need to actually make the Nginx available from this minute on, so we use the flag now. And with Nginx version -v, we are making sure that Nginx was installed. Now, by means of the firewall cmd command, we are adding the rule for the HTTP request, and you can use IP tables. Firewall CMD is built upon IP tables. I'd like to use firewall CMD whenever it is possible, and we need to reload also the firewall, which is this command we are executing here. Okay, we need to grab the IP for our compute instance, which is here in the config file, and we need to see that Nginx is in action. Okay, it is cool to see the results here. You can configure a domain name you happen to have with the reserved public IP that Oracle provides you. In here we are showing this A record to use with our compute instance. Now that we have configured our domain, we can use it here to see that it is actually pointing to the IP that Oracle has provided. You can see here also the subdomain www. Now we are going to upload our actual website by means of this facility in the Cloud Shell, which is great. Now we were on the computing instance, so we exit from that and we list the files to see our website being uploaded. Now we are using the scp command to copy our website to the compute instance. We need to connect to the instance and extract the file, which is what you are seeing in the screen. Extracting the file. Now we can see the folder in here, the extracted folder. We are clearing this console for convenience. And we are going to create the www folder to host our website in the srv folder. And we are moving the extracted folder to this www, and I think it is better to copy the folder to retain the file stats. We are now recursively changing the ownership to Nginx, sorry. So our folder is being owned by Nginx instead of the root user. In here we are changing the security context in order for the HTTPD process to be able to access our folder. Now we did backup. Yes, we did a backup, and we are changing the configuration. Take a look at the port, the 80 port on the listen section, the second line. Also, we have changed the server name. And in here we are changing the root, which is pointing now to our just created folder and our folder that was moved to that folder. The index remains the same, and we are about to comment these lines because at this point I am cool with default error pages, but you can customize your own and point those in here. You can also have a custom not found page. Okay. Okay, we write the file and exit the B editor. And we are checking the syntax for our configuration, which is okay. And we are restarting the Nginx service. No errors. Now we are refreshing in here. And have a look, our website is now being accessed over HTTP, which is great. Now the subdomain is working too. That's amazing. Thank you for watching.